The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
User joined your channel.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sports Insider. My name is Glenn Spillman. I am your host, coming to you from sunny California on Armed Radio, which is out of Boston, Massachusetts, across the nation and around the world. How's everybody doing this Friday evening? I am pretty chill. I got my coffee. I got my drink. Got everything. The sun is shining. Perfect weather outside. A little warm up in the 90s today. A little warm, but still good. As always, you guys could follow us on Facebook on Armed Radio. You can follow me on Facebook, Glenn Spillman. If you follow me on Facebook, that's one of the best ways that you could chime in during the show. You can get on Instant Messenger, chime in during the show, ask questions, comments, whatever you like. If you guys want to check out the other shows that are going on Armed Radio, just go to armedradioglobal.com. Go to the upper toolbar there, and you can either hit shows or you can hit artists. Now, if you hit shows, it'll do just that. It'll tell you exactly what shows are. You can share the shows. But if you go to artists, it'll give you a picture of the artist, the time of the show, the day of the show, and a little bit, well, not too much about the show, but it'll give you a snippet of what it is. For instance, you've got All You Can Eat with Rob Rosenthal every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Night Talk with Joe Rocks every Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Amy Chafalo every Tuesday at 11 p.m. Eastern. And after this show, you've got a show called Betrayal, and that comes on at 10 o'clock Eastern. And, of course, if you miss any of these shows whatsoever, you can go to Spreaker.com and you can type in whatever show that you've missed. Like, for instance, Sports Insider. You just type in Sports Insider, and all my shows, not the one just from this week, but all my shows will come up, and you guys could listen to any of them. You could download them. Really easy way to listen to any of the shows is download the TuneIn app on your smartphone. Search the Armed Radio icon. It's the yellow icon with headphones. And you could listen to any of the shows at any time. Guys want to call in 916-420-0697. Again, that is 916-420-0697. Alright. Unless you've been living underneath a rock, I'm sure you guys have followed the NFL draft. And my boy Kyler Murray from my alma mater, Oklahoma, went number 1 overall to the Arizona Cardinals. He is a little short for a quarterback, according to the league standards nowadays. He's only 5'10". He's 207 pounds, but he's small, he's agile, he's quick, he's got a great arm. So that was a good pick. I'm glad that he went to Arizona because he can come out right away and make an impact. He doesn't have to sit behind someone for a couple years. And we'll go through some of the basic first round. You got Nick Bosa, Ohio State defensive end, going to San Francisco. Got Cleveland Farrell, Clemson defensive end going to Oakland at number 4 pick. Oakland didn't know what to think about that. Now, what a lot of fans got mad about was the New York Giants pick. They picked Daniel Jones from Duke, quarterback. They did not like that pick, at all. And you could see it in their faces. There were boos. There were people going, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is going on." You should have seen the faces of pretty much all Giants fans. Let's see here for the let's get with some Boston people here. For the Patriots, the number 32 pick, they put N'Keal Harry, Arizona State. You got another Oklahoma guy going, number 25, Marquise Brown, wide receiver, to the Baltimore Ravens. I wish Arizona would have picked that cat. You got Cody Ford. Now, Arizona had a chance in the second round. Arizona picked Byron Murphy from Washington. Now, they could have picked Cody Ford, offensive tackle, but they chose not to. They chose to pick Byron Murphy. And as of now, those are the only people from Oklahoma that have been drafted. Those 3. So, but again, there's some winners and some losers in this draft, and I think one of the biggest losers in the draft is the New York Football Giants. I don't know what they were thinking on some of their picks, but again, I'm not a New York fan, so I can care less about it. Again, if you guys want to chime in on Facebook, just DM me your questions, and I will answer them. Or just chime in and say, "Hey, man, this is so-and-so from so-and-so. Just wanted to say hi." You can chime in to say hi as well. Veteran tight end Benjamin Watson, who intended to retire after last season, is now considering a return to the NFL for his 16th season, league sources told Adam Schefter on Saturday. Watson, whose wife is due to give birth to twins next week, might be open to returning to the NFL under the right situation, the source said. 38-year-old Watson, whose contract with the New Orleans Saints expired after the 2018 season, ranks 14th among tight ends in NFL history with 530 career receptions, and he's also amassed 5,858 yards and 44 touchdown catches. Previously said that 2018 would be his final season in the NFL. A first-round pick of New England in 2004, the two-time finalist for the league's Walter Payton Man of the Year award, has also played for the Browns and the Ravens. In a quote, he says, "I knew coming into this year that it probably would be my last year," Watson said at the end of last season. "And I think our approach was, as a family, that we were fortunate to come and play for one another for another year. But you know what it's kind of. It's been great to be a part of this team and have this sort of winning at this point of my career. But the injuries add up, the body struggles more and more, and it becomes evident it's time." End quote. Watson played every game for the Saints last season, catching 35 passes for 400 yards and 2 touchdowns. It was his second stint with the Saints. We got Roy chiming in. Hello from Roy from Watts. Hi, Glenn. Watts. Watts. Wow. Welcome to the show, brother, and thanks for tuning in. Any other questions throughout the show, feel free to ask. Indianapolis, an upright piano that John Lennon used to write Beatles songs has been sold at auction to Jim Irsay. Now, for those of you who don't know who Jim Irsay is, he is the owner of the Indianapolis Colts. Irsay tweeted that he's elated to now own the instrument Lennon used to compose songs for the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album. According to TMZ, Irsay paid $718,750 for the piano. Indianapolis Star reports the piano made in the 1870s was auctioned on the site GottaHaveRockandRoll.com. The site's opening bidding, ladies and gentlemen, was $575,000 and estimated it would sell for between $800,000 and $1.2 million. Irsay called ownership to the piano responsibility I take seriously with future generations in mind. Irsay previously bought guitars once owned by music legends Jerry Garcia, Prince, and Bob Dylan. That's pretty cool to have a eclectic realm of instruments like that. That's pretty freaking cool. I mean, I've got sports memorabilia like that. I've got a ton of signed sports memorabilia. One of my most prized possessions is a Mickey Mantle baseball that I had him sign when I met him. I met him in Oklahoma when I was going to the University of Oklahoma. I went to a baseball card show, and I met Mickey Mantle, and he signed the ball for me. And I've had it for 22 years, and it has, a lot of people offer to buy it from me, but I think I'm going to hold on to it for a while. Again, folks, follow us on social media. You can either follow Arms Radio, or you can follow Glenn Spillman if you want to follow me and direct message me during the show, as so many people do. Also, again, before this show, check out Pot Talk, man. You guys, if you want to hear a cool show, and if you guys want to laugh, listen to Pot Talk with Jim and Paul. And after the show, if you guys want to get into some creepy stuff tonight, listen to Betrayal. There's going to be going over some murder mysteries, if you will. And I won't get too much into it. I don't want to give too much away. But check out Betrayal every single Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Odell Beckham Jr. went on a tweeting spree Monday night and took offense to the perception that he's a cancer in the locker room. He also expressed discontent with the New York Giants general manager, Dave Gettleman, and coach, Pat Schumer. Beckham initially responded to a headline, Hot New Hip Hop, that suggested Gettleman's claims a culture problem led to a trade that sent Beckham to the Cleveland Browns last month. I honestly think freaking Odell Beckham's better in Cleveland anyway. The Giants received first and third round picks and safety Jabril Peppers. Gettleman said recently in a NewJersey.com column that the Giants had a culture problem he thought has since changed. Not anymore, Gettleman said. Beckham seemed to think that was a specific swipe at him as a poor teammate. He started defending himself after opening the floor on Twitter. Beckham didn't hold back. He referenced some of the comments that Gettleman had made prior to the trade and spoke of disagreement with Schumer late in the season. Gettleman had said on multiple occasions that the Giants didn't sign Beckham to trade him. They traded him 7 months after signing him to a record contract. Gettleman's comments didn't go unnoticed by the star receiver. Yeah, a little problem in Giantsville, but you know what? He's gone now, and and he's in a better place, and he's going to be catching a lot of freaking passes from Baker Mayfield this next season. So I can say this. I was just given permission to say this about the Betrayal show after this one. They're going to be going over the Sharon Tate murders, Part 1. So Part 1 of the Sharon Tate murders will be going on, and you're going to get some information that you may not have heard prior to anything else. So check it out. Betrayal. Right after Sports Insider. Pittsburgh, the last killer bee left with guided the Pittsburghs into a new era. The Steelers are giving quarterback Ben Roethlisberger a new 2-year extension to go with the 1 year he had left on his contract, tying him to Pittsburgh through the 2021 season. Pittsburgh announced the deal this past Wednesday. The extension all but guarantees Big Ben ends his career with the same franchise that drafted him in 2004. It's always nice to see players end up where they started. You know, I mean, if they can have a good career in the same, instead of bouncing from team to team to team to team to team, you know, either go out on top or just, you know, play until you can't play anymore. I mean, it's like what Joe Montana did. I mean, he went and he went for the Chiefs, and he had many, many good years in San Francisco, but he wasn't done playing. So he went to the Chiefs and did what he did there. So, after 2 seasons of playing for his hometown Oakland Raiders, Marshawn Lynch is not planning to play football again, league sources told Adam Schefter. With 3-day NFL draft kicking off last night in Nashville, Tennessee, which there was probably about, I would say, 150 to 200,000 people lining the streets. In the middle of the street, sidewalks, on rooftops, all over the place. It was pretty stunning to see that. But about 150, 200,000 people were there checking everything out. Minus Lynch, the Raiders' backfield now will be left with backs such as Isaiah Crowell, Jalen Richard, DeAndre Washington, and Chris Warren. Lynch, who turned 33 on Monday, plans to move to the next phase of his life. Lynch's stint with the Raiders had highs and lows, but beast mode continued to be entertaining and productive. Last season, he was tied 5th in the AFC with 331 rushing yards through week 5, when he suffered what eventually became a season-ending groin injury against the Seattle Seahawks. His former team in London, is where he got the injury, happened in London. Finished the 2018 season with an average of 4.2 yards per carry, scoring 3 touchdowns in 6 games. Lynch rushed for 1,267 yards on 297 carries in 21 games over 2 seasons with the Raiders, who acquired him in April 2017, traded with the Seahawks after he retired and didn't play in 2016. The first time Lynch retired came after 9 NFL seasons during the 4th quarter of the Super Bowl 50, February 2016, when the Pro Bowl running back tweeted a photo of cleats dangling over a wire with "peace out" emoji. I don't like the guy anyway. I think he's a cancer to the locker room, and I think he's got an attitude problem wherever he goes, whatever he does. He doesn't like the media. He doesn't seem to like people in general. And I think that it's I don't care if he retires. Good riddance. Peace out, brother. Exactly. Peace out. See you later. Goodbye. Anaheim, California, Los Angeles Angels slugger Albert Pujols surpassed Babe Ruth for 5th place in baseball history with his 1,993rd career RBI. So he's number 5 on the list now. Pujols passed Babe Ruth in the 9th inning last week with the solo homer to center field of Anthony Swarzak through the Angels lost to Seattle 6-5. Earlier, Pujols had tied Ruth's mark in the 3rd inning when he drove home Alderson Simmons with the double off of Seattle's Yusei Kikuchi. The Angel Stadium crowd gave a standing ovation to Pujols, who acknowledged the cheers on a second base with a wave of his helmet. "It's pretty special," Pujols said. "You're talking about, if not the best, then one of the best hitters to ever play this game. It would have been even sweeter if we would have come out with a win, but unfortunately it didn't happen." Pujols only passed Ruth according to baseball's official starting point for the mark. RBIs weren't an official statistic until 1920. Ruth's first year with the Yankees, though his career began in 1914 with the Boston Red Sox. Pujols also closing in on Lou Gehrig's 1,994 and Barry Bonds' 1,996 on the career RBIs chart. Hank Aaron, 2,297, and to lead the list, Alex Rodriguez with 2,086. Well, I mean, 14, 15, 16, 17, so 6 more years that if they would have done the stats with Babe Ruth, I bet you he would have eclipsed that 2,000 mark. He probably did more like, 2,500. Left-hander Gio Gonzalez has opted out of his minor league contract with the New York Yankees, who have 48 hours to release him or add him to the major league roster. In March, Gonzalez signed the deal with the Yankees that contained $3 million in base salary if he got added to the 40-man roster, and a chance to earn $9 million if performance bonuses by getting $300,000 per start. He is 2-1 with a 6.0 ERA, not very good, and 3 starts covering 15 innings at AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre. He has 19 strikeouts and 6 walks. Gonzalez was supposed to pitch Friday, but was rained out. The 33-year-old is one of the 5 pitchers who have made it at least 25 starts in every season this decade, along with Max Scherzer, Zach Greinke, John Lester, Rick Porcello, according to Stats and Information Research. So he has made at least 27 starts in 9 consecutive seasons. La-ti freaking da. Let's check the last few people in the draft, shall we? So we've got here. Let's go. The Texans had the 50. No, with the 54th and 55th pick, they took Lonnie Johnson Jr. from Kentucky, cornerback. Max Sharping from Northern Illinois, offensive tackle. Dallas Cowboys took Tristan Hill, University of Central Florida, defensive tackle. And Arizona, the number 62 pick, got Andre Isabella from University of Mass, wide receiver. Well, that's good. They need a wide receiver. And they got the Chiefs just picked Juan Thornhill from Virginia, safety. Next on the clock is the New England Patriots with the 32nd pick in the second round, number 64 overall. All right. Pittsburgh, the full-speed collision involving Pittsburgh Pirates center fielder Starling Marte and shortstop Eric Gonzalez in the outfield sent both players to the injured list. Gonzalez will miss at least 2 months after being put on the 60-day injured list with a fractured collarbone, while Marte will be out at least 10 days while recovering from his bruises to his abdominal wall and right quadriceps. Both players were injured when they ran into each other trying to chase down a fly ball by San Francisco's Yangervis Solarte in the 8th inning of Pittsburgh's 4-1 victory. Neither appeared to see the other. The ball squirted free from after the collision. Gonzalez was able to walk off the field, but Marte left on a cart as a precaution. Pirates Director of Sports Medicine Todd Tomazik said Marte was running 25 miles per hour and Gonzalez 19 miles per hour at the moment of impact. The team did not put an immediate timetable on when either player could return, though Tomazic said that both players will be back this season. Pirates called up shortstop Cole Tucker and outfielder Byron Reynolds from AAA Indianapolis to fill in for Gonzalez and Marte. Pittsburgh's first-round pick in 2014, the 22-year-old Tucker is hitting .333 with 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, and 5 stolen bases. All right, then. Go over a few, since we're talking about baseball. Let's go over a few scores, shall we? We've got bottom of the 8th, Padres and Washington Nationals tied up 3-3. Bottom of the 3rd, Phillies leading the Marlins 1-0. Bottom of the 8th, Athletics and Blue Jays are knotted up 2-2. Rain delay with the Brewers and the Mets in New York. Bottom of the 6th, Rockies over the Braves 4-2. Bottom of the 4th, Indians Astros all knotted up 2 apiece. Top of the 4th, Detroit Tigers over the White Sox 5-1. Bottom of the 4th, you got Twins 4-0 over the Orioles. Top of the 4th, Angels over the Royals 2-0. And last but not least, top of the 5th, you've got the Cincinnati Reds over the Cardinals 4-0. All right, let's go back and see if the Patriots made their pick for the second round. They have not. It looks like they did a trade with the Seattle Seahawks, and now the Seahawks are on the board. Tonight at 7, got Game 6 in LA. You got the Golden State Warriors playing the Los Angeles Clippers. Golden State leads 3-2 in the series. Now, it would be interesting if the Clippers would win tonight, and then you force a Game 7, go all the way back to Oakland, and have Oakland win it at home. That would be pretty freaking cool. NBA action. A lawsuit alleges that the new Sacramento Kings coach is already in hot water. The lawsuit alleges that new Sacramento Kings coach Luke Walton sexually assaulted a woman sometime before he was named coach of the Los Angeles Lakers in 2016. Well, that's 2016. Why is it just now being brought up? That's what I always ask when this stuff happens. Civil lawsuit first reported by TMZ alleges that Kelly Tennant, a former host on Spectrum Sportsnet LA, the Lakers' regional sports network, received an unwanted physical advance by Walton at a Santa Monica, California hotel room. The suit alleges that Tennant, who had a working relationship with Walton, stemming from his time as a guest analyst on Spectrum, met with him at the Casa del Mar Hotel to drop off a copy of her book, for which he provided the foreword when he was in town on a road trip as assistant coach with the Golden State Warriors. According to the legal documents, Walton allegedly invited Tennant to his room so they wouldn't be seen together by any Warriors players. He then allegedly pinned Tennant to the hotel bed and forcibly kissed and groped her. The suit also alleges that in May 2017, Walton forced an aggressive hug and made a lewd remark about Tennant's outfit at a charity event the two attended. The Lakers said they were never told of the allegations when Walton was their coach and had no additional comment because he now works for another team. At no time before or during his employment here was this alleged allegation reported to the Lakers. If it had been, we would have immediately commenced an investigation and notified the NBA. Since Luke Walton is now under contract to another team, we will have no further comment. Kings released a statement on Monday regarding the alleged incident. We are aware of the report and are gathering additional information. The team had no other comment. The Los Angeles Times reported that Tennant's lawyer declined to say whether she reported the alleged assault to the police. Well, of course you're going to decline that because she didn't. Because if she did, he would have been in trouble way back in 2016. Team sources told Ramona Shelburne that the alleged incident occurred well before Walton joined the Lakers. No one ever reported to the team, and that is not why the team parted ways with him. Quarterback Russell Wilson, fresh off signing a 4-year, $140 million contract extension, is thanking each of his offensive linemen with $12,000 in Amazon stock. How cool is that? In a letter to all 13 of Wilson's linemen, the highest paid player in the NFL expressed his gratitude towards the men who protect him on Sundays. Sacrifice your physical and mental well-being to protect me, which in turn allows me to provide and care for my family, Wilson wrote. This does not go unnoticed, and it is never forgotten. Wilson went on to write that he wanted to give his linemen something that would have a lasting impact on their families' lives. You've invested in my life, Wilson wrote. This is my investment in yours. The 30-year-old Wilson reached an extension with the Seahawks that made him the highest paid player in the league last week. So, $12,000 in Amazon stock. And Amazon currently goes for $1,950.63 per share. It has gone up. Today, it's gone up $48.38. So, since he gave him that $12,000 in stock, which is probably close to 6-7 shares. I mean, they've already made $400+ on just today alone. I know it doesn't seem like a lot to some people, but that's a pretty good chunk. So Russell Wilson's a pretty cool dude. Denver Broncos linebacker Von Miller will, so let's not get in. Well, no, let's go ahead and get into that. He's not going to be prosecuted for catching a hammerhead shark off the coast of Miami a year ago. So he caught a hammerhead shark, took a picture with it, and he's not going to be prosecuted. The owner and operator of the boat was charged with fishing for sharks without a permit and failure to release the animal in a way that ensures maximum probability of survival. Miller is an avid fisherman and hunter, but hammerheads are classified as Group 3 sharks according to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation. And harvesting of them in the state waters is a second-degree misdemeanor. In Florida, a second-degree misdemeanors are punishable by up to $500 fine and 60 days in jail, as determined by a judge. The Florida Wildlife Commission had opened an investigation after animal rights groups saw social media posts of Miller catch and objected. Miller did release the shark and later defended his actions. And he said, "I went fishing. Everybody knows that I hunt and fish. It is what I do. But I also believe in conservation. I'm not just out there going crazy. We followed the rules. I did everything I was supposed to." End quote. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, listening to the show. Sports Insider is on every single Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and you could listen to us live on TuneIn, If you missed the show, you can go to Spreaker.com, type in Sports Insider, and listen to it there as well if you miss any of the shows, or if you want to just go back and listen to all the shows. NCAA in Ida Bena, Mississippi Valley State has hired former NBA player and coach Lindsey Hunter as basketball coach. The school announced Hunter's hiring on its athletic department website Saturday. Hunter is a Mississippi native and was a star at Jackson State before a 17-year NBA career with the Detroit Pistons, Milwaukee Bucks, Los Angeles Lakers, Toronto Raptors, and Chicago Bulls. Hunter takes over for Andre Payne. Contract wasn't renewed after 5 seasons. The Delta Devils had a 6-26 record last season, including a 4-14 mark in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Hunter has been an assistant coach with both the NBA and the college level. He also was the interim head coach for the Phoenix Suns for part of the 2012-2013 season. Let's take a drink. Man, I got some good coffee, folks. I've got mocha coconut with a little bit of cream, a little bit of sugar. Good stuff. Auburn Tigers sophomore Chuma Okeke has submitted paperwork to the league office to make himself eligible for the 2019 NBA draft. He intends to hire an agent as permitted by the NCAA rules and will maintain his eligibility while rehabbing his knee injury at Auburn. Okeke, the number 41 prospect on the ESPN Top 100, was projected as a first-round draft pick when he suffered what was later diagnosed as a torn ACL on March 29th against North Carolina in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. He had 20 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals when he went down with the injury midway through the second half. Okeke averaged 12 points, 6.8 rebounds, 1.9 steals, and 1.2 blocks in 29.1 minutes per game for Auburn, shooting 38.7% from three-point range. Despite the injury, he is intriguing to NBA teams due to his 7'1" wingspan and defensive versatility as 6'8", 230 pound. Regularly, he was tasked with slowing down guards and big men alike. His three-point shooting ability and positive assist-to-turnover ratio gives him the ability to operate on the perimeter effectively thanks to his high basketball IQ. Well, you know, it's always hard to get good draft status when you have an injury such as an ACL, because ACL is your anterior cruciate ligament, then you have your posterior cruciate ligament. Those ligaments cross each other like an X in the knee. That helps your knee not to go forward too much and not to go backward too much. So when you have a torn ACL or PCL, you've got, you know, a little bit of weakness in that area, so it's going to take a lot of rehab. And we'll see where he goes in the draft. I mean, if people are still interested in him, which is good, we'll see where he goes. I mean, you can't fault the guy for wanting to get money for his family and for his future. Western Kentucky Senator Charles Bassey declared for the NBA draft. Bassey does not plan to sign an agent and will retain the option to return to school, according to Western Kentucky's statement. He has until May 30th to test the draft waters and make a decision about whether to stay in the draft pool. He is the number 53 player in the nation and the number 10 center. In his freshman season, Bassey averaged 14.6 points, 10 rebounds, 2.4 blocks per game, He scored 25 in a loss to UCF in November and 21 in a win at Arkansas in December. He was named the Conference USA Defensive Player of the Year and Freshman of the Year. Bassi, from Nigeria, listed at 6'11", 245 pounds. Big boy. So, again, the NBA draft, see, that's a lottery system. You could be the best team in the league, and through the lottery system, you could theoretically get the first draft of the overall draft pick. So, of course, the more wins you have, the less lottery balls that you get. The more losses you have, the more lottery balls that you get. So, that's why it's called a lottery. So, it's kind of a crapshoot. Top 10 prospect Matthew Hurt announced his commitment to Duke, giving the Blue Devils their third 5-star prospect in the 2019 class. Hurt made his announcement during a ceremony at his high school. "I'll be attending Duke University," Hurt said. Hurt chose the Blue Devils over a trio of fellow Blue Blood programs, Kansas, North Carolina, and Kentucky. Hurt took his official visit to Durham in mid-January and also took official visits to his other 3 finalists over the past 5 months. Duke picked up the momentum in the past several weeks after Kentucky landed commitments from top 50 recruit Keon Brooks and Bucknell graduate transfer Nate Sestina, both of whom are front court players, while Kansas was the perceived earlier leader but lost some ground in recent months. The 6'8" power forward from John Marshall High School, Minnesota, Hurt is skilled inside-outside scorer. He's ranked number 10 out of 100 and slots as the number 2 power forward in his class. Named to both the McDonald's All-American and Nike Hoop Summit teams, Hurt also won a gold medal with the USA basketball team in the 2018 FIBA America's U18 Championship. He started all 6 games during the tournament, averaging 14 points and 5.3 rebounds. Hurt is one of the most prolific scorers in Minnesota high school basketball history. He surpassed 3,000 career points this season and finished the season average 36.8 points, 12.4 rebounds, and 5.0 assists in 29 games. Mike Krzyzewski is now 3 5-star prospects and 4 top 40 prospects in his 2019 class. Let's go back to the draft and see what's up. Alright. At the end of round 2, Seattle picked DK Metcalf from Ole Miss, wide receiver. And round 3 got Arizona picked Zach Allen, Boston College defensive ends. And looks like the Patriots won't be picking again until 73. With the 66th overall pick, the third round, you've got Deontay Johnson from Toledo, wide receiver, going to Pittsburgh. Jalen Hurd from Baylor, wide receiver, goes to San Francisco. And Doxy Polite from Florida, defensive end, goes to the New York Jets. Let's see if we have any more questions on Facebook. It does not appear so. So let's go back to Missouri Tigers sophomore Jonte Porter announced Friday he would be entering the NBA draft. A lot of players are entering the NBA draft. Porter missed the entire 2018-19 season after tearing his right ACL, which is your anterior cruciate ligament. We just talked about that. And MCL, which is your medial collateral ligament, in October during a closed preseason scrimmage. That sucks. You get hurt during a scrimmage against Southern Illinois. Porter then retore his right ACL in March. See, there's where the weakness comes in. As school spokesman said, the 6'11" Porter is the younger brother of Michael Porter Jr., who was selected number 14 in the 2018 draft despite playing just 3 games at Missouri due to a back injury. Dante Porter averaged 9.9 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 1.7 blocks as a freshman, but returned to the Tigers for his sophomore season despite being projected as a late first-round pick in 2018. He's now ranked number 42, slotting in as the number 8 center. This is why, their argument for paying NCAA players is so they get a little bit of money while they're in college. But also, this is why a lot of players are the one and done. They'll do 1 year, then they'll leave and go for the draft because they want to make that money. Look at this cat. He already tore his ACL twice, and which is going to make him injury prone in the future. And will teams want to take that and run with it? Orlando, Florida, Mark Wright, making his first public comments since stepping down as coach of the Miami Hurricanes in late December, said Saturday that he has no current plans on returning to coaching. Wright in Orlando to announce his new role as a studio analyst for the ACC network during Miami's spring game Saturday. Said he decided to retire after the Hurricanes' 34-3 bowl loss because he felt it was the right time. There's no easy time to do it for sure, Wright said, especially when you're the head coach. That's the hardest part of how it affected other people. I felt it was the right time for me as a person, and I felt like Miami would be better hands. Wright said it was also a decision he considered during the season. It was like I planned it. It wasn't like a mid-season or even a year in advance or whatever, but it came really when the season was over. I was thinking about the possibility of it, and by the time the bowl game was finished, between myself, God, and my wife, it was the right thing to do, end quote. Well, when you gotta go, you gotta go. Goodbye, good riddance, good luck, peace out, brother. Kansas State receiver Hunter Rison was arrested Friday for domestic battery. The Riley County, Kansas Police Department told the Mercury newspaper. Rison faces a charge of domestic battery to a family person in a dating relationship. He is free on $1,000 bond. The 20-year-old was indefinitely suspended from the team for a violation of team and departmental policy on Saturday. The school did not provide further explanation for the suspension. Rison, a redshirt sophomore, transferred from Michigan State and sat out last season. In his freshman year, Rison played 12 games for the Spartans with 19 receptions for 224 yards. Rison is the son of former Michigan State and NFL receiver Andre Rison. Man, brother, you got to get that domestic violence under wraps, man. You're a dude, can't be hitting on women, man. I don't know, man. I know it's the heat of the moment and I'm all this kind of stuff, and I'm not advocating it, but dude, you got to keep your hands to yourself because you just might have screwed up your entire career with that stupid mistake. Alabama coach Nick Saban is expected to have full recovery. He had hip surgery replacement on this past Monday. Saban, 67, addressed what he called a bothersome hip after the Crimson Tide spring game on Saturday, saying it would be evaluated by doctors and could require 6 to 8 weeks of recovery. I want to get it fixed because I don't want to coach for one more year. I want to coach for a lot more years. So whenever things like this come up, I want to be aggressive and proactive to try to get it taken care of. We'll certainly do that, and that we've really got good people to do it. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, LSU basketball coach Will Wade will forfeit $250,000 in incentive bonus, and new athletic director Scott Woodward will receive a 6-year, $8 million pay package under contracts recommended for approval of the university's board of supervisors. Wade is paid $2.5 million annually, and his contract includes $50,000 bonus for winning the Southeast Conference regular season title and a $100,000 bonus for each qualifying for the NCAA tournament and advancing to the round of 16. However, Wade was suspended for LSU's regular season finale and the entire postseason after a leaked transcript of an FBI wiretap quoted Wade discussing recruitment offers in a way that raised questions about whether he violated NCAA rules. Well, brother, got to get your act together, man, because if you got the FBI wiretap and you got the FBI involved in any of this, you bet and rest assured that it will have violated NCAA rules. And that's why you're not getting your bonus of $250,000, $250,000 forfeited because you allegedly wanted to be an idiot and discuss recruitment offers. Idiot. MMA, Nick Newell, a one-handed fighter with a 14-2 professional record, has signed a bout agreement to fight Kelvin Hackney, which is 16-5, on May 31st in Hartford, Connecticut, at CES 56. Newell has not fought since July of 2018, when he lost to Alex Munoz by unanimous decision on Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. A win would have put him in a position to sign with the UFC. Despite the long wait to return to the cage, Newell is excited for the opportunity in his home state. It feels fantastic to be back out there, Newell said. I didn't have the performance I would have liked last time, but I know I'm capable of so much more. I know that I'm elite in the sport and I need a venue to showcase it. And in front of the hometown crowd is the perfect place to do that. Newell, 33, is a congenital amputee with a left arm that extends just below the elbow. Though it makes it more difficult to fight, he has thrived in the sport his entire life. Newell was a captain on Western New England's University wrestling team in college and later went pro in MMA in 2009. He began his career 11-0, setting up a World Series of Fighting lightweight title against current UFC star Justin Gaethje. Newell lost by second-round TKO. Newell said the time between his fights had nothing to do with injuries and all to do with fatherhood. He and his wife Danielle and their first child shortly after his last bout and needed to focus time on his family. He says in a quote, I wanted to be there through the pregnancy, and there were a lot of unknowns, so my number one priority was as a father, but now I'm ready to start competing again. If you haven't seen this guy fight, I would check him out. I mean, you would ask yourself, how does a one-armed MMA fighter fight? Well, you watch and find out. But Atlanta, it took Dustin Poirier more than 8 years to do it, but he finally knows what it feels like to have a UFC belt around his waist. He won the interim lightweight championship last week as he defeated featherweight king Max Holloway by a unanimous decision at UFC's 236 at State Farm Arena. All three judges scored the bout 49-46 for Poirier. It took Poirier a long time to realize this moment. The 30-year-old has been fighting in the UFC since 2011, compiling a record of 17-4. Despite that sterling resume, Saturday marked his first UFC title fight. Man, dude, that was a really good fight. I mean, if you guys haven't seen that, I don't know if you get UFC Fight Pass or not, but go and check that out. Time flies, people. I'm telling you, time flies when you're having fun. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in to Sports Insider. And remember, go ahead and stay tuned in right here on tunein.com and listen to Betrayal. If you want to listen about the Sharon Tate murders, check that out. Betrayal is coming on directly after Sports Insider. So go get yourself something to drink, put up your feet, kick back, relax, and you got a few minutes before it comes on, but check it out. Sports Insider is on every single Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And again, if you miss any of the shows, just go to Spreaker.com and you can download the shows and listen to all the past shows. But folks, thanks again. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Be kind to each other. Peace out.
Get up, come on, get down.